heaven and earth. And will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold.
Give a chance to get notified to come in here real quick. We got a few minutes. We're going to be chilling for a little bit before we start our day.
I shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Amen.
Thank you to the moderators that are here controlling the chat. Appreciate you. You know, I'm going to get started a little early because I don't have like a whole lot of time right now before I got to get started with my day and everything else. You know, it's just real quick, man. Just a little chance for us to kind of come together, talk a little bit before we get our day started and everything else. It's just amazing to see like all of the lies that these other nations have perpetrated, and then they keep perpetrating every single day. But then they seem to think that they are the authority on scriptures and they're the authority on breaking things down. But as you can see, they refuse to provide proof of absolutely anything. You know, how is it that you guys seem to think that you can come on other people's channels and question what they're talking about when you can't even prove 66 books? You see what I'm saying? Like you guys have lied about everything. You've hidden everything and no one says a word about it. But then when they want to come out and say, oh, you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. Only way that worked before was because we were asleep. The Most High, put the blinders on us and kept us asleep. That is the only way that you were allowed to, be in a position that you're in, make up all the history you want, change up everything, hide this, hide that, because there was no one reading or studying to fact check you. The whole world gave you praise because you took down the Israelites. So none of them, they're all receiving benefits. So none of them are going to go against anything you say. Even if they know it's not even true, they're still not going to go against anything that you're saying. You see what I'm saying? They're not going to go against anything you have to say because they're all Confederate. You're all one conglomerate. You try to portray yourselves as something different, but you're not. I just cracking up listening to these people coming in and making comments, talking about, oh, well, you Hebrew Israelites, you guys are new. You've only been around for 50 years. But the church has been set up since the Acts and Pentecost. I was like, you guys are like the ultimate tag-alongs, man. You're the, all you guys do is you look at other people's histories, you look at other people's stories and say, oh, that was me. Oh, it was the church. And well, I'm a church, so therefore that was me. Oh, it says church right here in the Bible. I'm part of a church, so that was me in Acts. That was me that got the Holy Spirit to come down. That must have been the Protestants that happened to. Oh, that was the Catholics that did that. I'm like, you guys weren't even around. You didn't even have a church. So how is it that all of a sudden, like, anything you read in the Bible somehow pertains to you? You see what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make absolutely any sense. When, the Holy Spirit came down in Acts, she came down to Israelites. Everyone was coming together to celebrate their feast, which you guys were all killing people over. All you guys have done is kill people who followed the feast. You were killing people who followed their traditions. So how is it all of a sudden when the Holy Spirit comes down, when people are following their traditions, somehow that's the church that's actually persecuting the people that actually kept those traditions? It makes absolutely no sense. You see what I'm saying? Paul said, Paul was still an Israelite. Paul was still referring how everything referred to the Israelites. And not only that, you guys have only approved certain writings of Paul's. There's other writings of Paul's that you didn't approve. The story of Paul and Thecla. You guys know it's true. You guys know it's valid. You made Thecla a saint. You give her churches. You make churches in her name. You have people praying to her, but yet she's not even in the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how is that? But no one's allowed to read these books on their own, because as soon as you have to read it, you start to see that the church is full of BS. Because you're saying that Paul was pushing a pro Catholic doctrine, which he wasn't, because there was no such thing at that time. And you guys lie about absolutely everything. See, in this book, here by Llorente, okay, I would suggest if you guys can get your hands on it, It's called A Critical History of the Inquisition of Spain by Juan Antonio Llorente. And it talks right here about how, let me see, he was being myself the secretary of the Inquisition at Madrid during the years of 1789, 1790, and 1791. I have the firmest confidence in my being able to give to the world a true code of the secret laws by which the interior of the Inquisition was governed, of those laws which were veiled by mystery from all mankind. This is what you guys do. You hide your guys' laws, veiled by mystery from all mankind. You guys hide all this information. And then you want to talk about everything being out in the open, which it never has been. You guys have always hidden everything. And you're hiding everything even till today. You're hiding everything from your people about prophecy being fulfilled right now. You're not telling them that prophecies, the true prophecies of the scriptures, are being released right now. See, everyone talks about Jacob's trouble. Well, right there alone should tell you that it's talking about Jacob. It's not talking about the whole world. But see, this is what happens when you've interjected yourself into other people's records and other people's prophecies. If it says Jacob's trouble, how does that somehow all of a sudden talk about the whole world? It's talking about the trouble that Jacob was going to go into. And he already went into that at your hands. We got Jeremiah 30:7. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Jacob, the Israelites. That's who he's talking about. And this Inquisition, he started going into how they were, man, it didn't matter if you were 97, a woman. If they found you guilty, game, set, match. You're getting killed. You're getting burnt to death. So they didn't, in the scriptures in Baruch, it says that these nations are going to come from afar, they're not going to reverence old or young. And that's exactly what these sections are talking about. It just shows you how they fulfilled prophecy. They were killing old people. They were burning old people, sentencing old people to death, putting them in prison for the rest of their lives. And all because they were following the traditions of the Israelites. So when you look at Jeremiah 30:7 and on, it proves exactly what you guys were doing. You guys were, how do you guys explain that? You don't explain it. You just hide it. And it's like, just like you guys do everything else, you just hide everything. Jeremiah 30:8. For it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord of hosts, that I will break his yoke from off thy neck, and I will burst thy bonds, and strangers shall no more serve themselves of him. Strangers, other nations, have served themselves of us. But you thought the Most High forgot, right? Yeah, exactly, Brother Sly. You thought the Most High forgot all the things that you've done. At Gethsemane 12. You thought the Most High just forgot about all these things. But they shall serve the Lord their God and David their king, whom I will raise up unto them. Most High is going to raise up David. He's going to raise up, he's going to make us reverence him once again. All the things that your churches have gone out of their way to keep us from doing. It doesn't matter what title they give each other. I mean, they can say whatever they want. The wishes of the church are always going to be fulfilled. They don't want you reading past the Bible. Whoever's keeping you from reading anything past the Bible, they're all part of the Catholic Church. It doesn't matter if they call themselves Baptists, Presbyterians, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Hebrew Israelites. It doesn't matter. If they keep you from reading anything that's going to reveal their history, you got to look at them very suspiciously. You see what I'm saying? 30 and 10. Therefore, fear not, O my servant Jacob, saith the Lord, neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. And that is about us awakening again in the lands of our captivity. Baruch 2 and 30. And continue in 11. For I am with thee, saith the Most High, to save thee. The Most High is not saving everybody. That's, again, church doctrine. Once again, it says, I'm going to save you because you're going through Jacob's trouble. You've been destroyed by your adversaries. They lie about everything. They keep everything hidden. Okay, so again, for I am with thee, saith the Most High, to save thee, though I make a full end of all nations. Okay, whither I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee, but I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Okay, for thus saith the Most High, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound is grievous. See, the other nations don't care about us. They always talk about love doctrine, and everything else. But when it talks about recompensing and actually taking care of or fixing the ills that we've gone through at their hands, they're like, hell no, we're not doing any of that. You know what I'm saying? 13, there is none to plead thy cause, that thou mayest be bound up. Thou hast no healing medicines. There's no one, just like in these inquisitions. They would just make accusations, and there's no one to plead our cause. You're just guilty. And they had vested interests. Like as soon as you got... say you're a multimillionaire. As soon as they just make an accusation, your goods and your lands and your money is all sequestered by the Holy See, by the church. And if they find you guilty, everything you have goes to them. So they have a vested interest in making sure they find you guilty every single time. Because every time that they find you guilty, they get to take your stuff. So that's not, so now you know why these churches are so rich. Because they've stolen absolutely everything. They have a vested interest. They had a vested interest in making sure that you were found guilty. And it's amazing that they were the judges that would find you guilty. You see what I'm saying? 14, all thy lovers have forgotten thee. They seek thee not. Okay? For I have wounded thee with the wound of an enemy, with the chastisement of the cruel one, for the multitude of thine iniquity. Because thy sins were increased. Yeah, we fell off. We messed up. Okay. But the Most High also told you guys you can only do this to these people. And you went way overboard. Okay. And then let's go here. 15 and 16. Jeremiah 30 and 16 is one of my favorites. But we'll go Jeremiah 30 and 15. Why criest thou for thine affliction? Why are you crying now? Most High is talking to us. Why are you crying now? You wanted to go with these people? You wanted to follow them? All right, here you go. Look at what they're going to do to you. Again, why criest thou for thine affliction? Okay? Thy sorrow is incurable for the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased. I have done these things unto thee. See, it wasn't you guys that did this. This was the Most High that allowed you to do it. But you guys wanted to be all prideful and think that it was you done these things by your power. But just like the Most High did it to us, he's also going to turn his face back to us. Isaiah 14 and 1. And he's going to restore us, just like he said he was going to. Which then is not good for you, which is why you've taken out 2nd Esdras 13 and a half all the way, and you took out the 14 chapters 14, 15, and 16. So again, Most High is like, why criest thou for thine affliction? Thy sorrow is incurable. No one's going to fix you. No one's going to help you. You're going to go through this, and that's exactly what we've done. For the multitude of thine iniquity, because thy sins were increased, I have done these things unto thee. Now 16 though, this is what the whole world wants to hide. This is why they took out these certain verses out of 2nd Esdras. This is why they changed words, because they don't want you to realize this part. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thy adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. Those are your churches. They were the ones who've done all these horrible things to us. And Most High said, what you did to them, the Most High is about to do to you. And this is exactly why they've taken out all these different verses. They've hidden all this history of the Inquisition. There's some guy here who's like a pro person for the Catholic Church who tried to write a history of the Inquisition and said that the church might have only killed 400 people. Really? And this is why you can't always, be tripping about like these numbers. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on now, 400 people. Okay. But see, that's why you guys are always trying to diminish what you've done to everyone else. Okay? But Jeremiah 30 and 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Most High. Because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, who no man seeketh after. Is your Inquisition right here. Man, these people ain't nothing. You're the Most High's chosen people. We're going to see. We're going to see if he's going to step in for you. We're going to see what he's going to do for you when we come for you. Okay, and you guys, and he allowed you guys to do what you wanted to do. But now, Most High says he's coming for you. 18, he's going to restore health to us, like he's restoring us now. He's restoring us physically, spiritually, mentally. Okay? 18, thus saith the Most High, behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places, and the city shall be builded up upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. Okay, and all of them shall proceed thanksgiving, and the voice of them that make merry, and I will multiply them, and they shall not be few. I will also glorify them, and they shall not be small. So these are the things that they've been trying to hide this whole time. They're trying to hide the end game of the story. They're just lying about all this information. They've been hiding information, but now the Most High is bringing it out. You're going to talk about how, he was able to get all this information, okay, that's been hidden. All right, and that's what we're going to be getting into even more and more, and we're going to be connecting that with the scriptures. I said, so yes, you've hidden everything, but you don't see a lot of these people who keep coming on the comic book running their mouths, giving you any proof of anything. They haven't proven 66 books, haven't proven that they somehow were at the time of the dove coming down, in Pentecost. They just want to say things like, oh, that was the church. Yeah, that wasn't you. That was the Most High's chosen people. They're the church. If you don't understand what the word church means, it means like a called out number. It's a called out few. It is not a building that has this denomination, that denomination that was made hundreds of years later. Just like Peter wasn't the first pope. But that's okay though. You say, you keep on running your mouth and say the Most High is going to expose you more and more the more you talk. All right. All praise is the Most High. Shalom.